Okay, welcome to the Pozo Training Diaries 2015. We're back on the roof and we're back in Pozo. At the moment, I've been here about a week now and we haven't seen much in the way of waves. It's been pretty small. We've been scratching around trying to get some action. There's quite a few people here though, obviously the local, guys and girls. We've got the twins, obviously, the main guy, my girls behind the event, the main organisers. That kicks off in 3 weeks, so it's a 3-week countdown until the event here in Pozo, and hopefully by then we'll have some waves. The wind's always here. I mean, the forecast I think for the Canaries has been 1 star on wind and we've been on 4 meters and 4.2s and stuff like that, so the wind is here, the waves are lacking. So who's here? Who is here? Well, actually I'm not staying in Albert's house on the beach. I'm staying a little bit up the road above Killerfish with the Vikings. Yeah, we're staying with the Swedes, so we've got a few of those boys in the house. I'm taking them under my wing and showing them the ropes. Oh dear, poor boys, poor boys. But more of them in a bit. Obviously all the locals, we've got Aleix, Omar, as I said before, the twins. We've got obviously the imports. We've got John Skye. He's been up testing slalom, had quite a funny run the other day. His first run out and just had to avoid someone mid-air, and how he didn't kill himself is beyond me. Pretty impressive stuff, but he's sailing good. He had some really big stall forwards and some nice doubles and stuff like that. So Skyboy, I think he's one of the older members of the Pilo at the moment, but he's one to watch this year. Pons Training, and of course you know where he works. He works in... What? And you thought we were going to change the advert this year? You must be having a laugh. The advert's here to stay, unless someone out there wants to make another one. But the Pozo wins, obviously they're sponsoring the Training Diaries, and that is where Pons is working, and he's been doing a bit of training with a few people. I know he's been working with Skyboy over the winter. He's been working with Aleix. We're going to have more on him, and Moritz, and again more on him soon. And he's been working on a young lad called Federico. I hope I've got the name right, but Federico, and we're going to do a little feature on him to see how he progresses. He's been over in Maui when I was sailing there, and I'm going to do a little bit of following him. He's been working on a few moves, and we'll see how his progression goes on. So yeah, again, the Diaries is sponsored by Pozo Wins. Pons works there. If you want to get a clinic or a bit of a coaching session with Pons, a lot of people have been, and a lot of people singing his praises. Get on the phone, ring Pozo Wins and get booked in for a clinic. Obviously you can hire the gear and do all the stuff there, but you know the drill. We're not going to go in more on that. We've got a few American imports this year, and they've come home early. I heard Ezzy has been here a few times this year, so he's keen. It's not all going his own way. He's getting some good moves, don't get me wrong, but he's had a couple of stacks. We were out the other day and it was sort of freestyle weather, and I saw him, he's getting a bit bored, started doing a few spocks, and I was thinking, oh nice. And then he took one, just real hard one, and I thought, ooh, that's why I don't do freestyle anymore. Just that little it looked pretty painful, but he's sailing good. So we get a nice 360 as well. So Ezzy could be one to watch. He's up in the port tack skills. Morgan, obviously a lower classic winner, he's over here this year. I only saw him briefly, I got no video footage of him, but we'll keep our eye on Morgan and we'll keep you updated how he's getting on. Obviously Brazinho, he's from Brazil, but he's a pretty much Maui local now. He's here, looks keen. I mean, he was out there the other day and it was flat. I'm talking flat, and he was still putting the work in, and that usually means he's on it. He is pushing and pushing. Another guy who's pushing, another one going for a world title, Victor Fernández. He is never not pushing. So Victor's been out there and he's been ripping up the small stuff, like inch high waves. He's got that new stubby board, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty on it, getting some nice hacks, putting some freestyling on the inside, some punches. He's obviously got those lovely forwards. So Victor Fernández, again, we're not going to count him out, are we, for the world title this year? Could it be his year? Getting me interesting. No sign of the reigning world champion Thomas Trevose. He just did drop a nice video the other day that looked like he was sailing in some pretty nice conditions over the last couple of years. So, but no sign of him yet. He's usually one to rock up to the competition really late and just turn it on. So, who else is here? I tell you what, we had a blast from the past. I'm walking up the beach the other day, and who do I see? Orion Jensen. I haven't seen him for donkey's years. So he's out there, he looks happy as hell. I mean, it was flat and he's like, yeah, I'm going out. He skipped off past me. I got the phone out, a quick sort of just little chat with him, and he walked off, and I was getting ready, sort of trying to get the camera, didn't have a tripod, and I was getting ready for him to see him doing some whatever he does out there, and about 2 minutes later he comes back up the beach, forgot to put his air screw in the board. So you know what I mean, even the best still make mistakes. But again, he went out there, put out some old floaty jumps, and stuck in a forward on the first run. So Orion, he looked happy to be out there. I think he's been stuck up on the doing something to do with oil in Norway, something like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of who's around at the beach. There's obviously a lot more people around, and I'm going to drop in all those names when I meet them, when I get the video camera out. This one is just really to get us into it, get me in the mood, get the creative juices flowing, so to speak, and hopefully the waves will pick up. But from what the footage I've got so far, I do have some stuff from Köster and a bit more stuff from Browne, but we're going to put that in the next one because we are slacking a bit of wind at the moment. But my call for the
Doppstadt Shredder of the week.
Yes, the Doppstadt Shredder of the week, Aleix Sanllehy, however you want to say it. He's from Barcelona, sort of Catalonia, but he's been living here for a bit now. He did his back in a couple of years ago, and he was sailing good until then. He had a bit of a year off, came back last year. He's changed sponsors this year, and I tell you what, he's been training with Pons, and he does look a man on a mission, I have to say. So he is my Shredder of the week. He was putting out some nice sort of tail kick sort of tackers on the inside, tabletop forwards was looking good, you know, big sort of arch back loops, 1 foot 1 hand back loops, obviously the tweed push loop. I mean, he always does those, really nice. So he was looking pretty tasty. So Aleix Sanllehy, watch out for him this year. I think he's going to be definitely one to watch, although like I said before, even the best have mistakes, and there was a nice one where he was like clue first wave riding and he's just pulling out and the board just jumped up and catapult, you can't put it in. And then there was another one, I just had the camera on him and he got a bit of a gust on the front and a lovely little catapult. You got to have the catapults. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to cut it short now, and we'll put all the best stuff, a little bit of a sneak here of some of the good stuff in the next one. We do have a few sections. I want to kind of do sections in these Pozo training diaries. So the first section we're going to have is yeah, the Rocket Man, yes, that's going to be it. So anyone who's doing the floaty jumps, everyone loves a floaty jump, surely. We're going to call them rocket airs because that sounds a bit more crazy. So the rocket airs, and there is one man, he's on a Neil Pride holder. I remember him from last year and he's just doing rocket airs. We didn't have good conditions, but this is the Rocket Air Man, and we got to put the music on every time we see some rocket airs. So we're going to have rocket airs this year. We've got a few other sections to come up, more on that in the next one. So thanks for joining us. Like I said, more action coming up in part 2.